Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friends in High Places and Road to the Illuminati. This is my NA story. My addiction is everything. Doesn't matter what it is, everything I do is in excess. I started in high school on opiates and gradually progressed into heroin. During my rehabilitation period and moving to Canada from the US, I started therapy and the methadone program. The 12 steps and NA meetings permitted me a clean, sober, and successful life. I found poker and became very good very quickly and became flush with cash. I found speed, which permitted me to do long hours of playing. I neglected my body and started to gamble instead of using my skill. My work ethic diminished and my bankroll lopsided. I was almost in the streets when I moved to Utah, where crack appeared and quickly got hooked. A year later, I went back to Canada and applied as a poker croupier, where I became one of the best. 6 years of dealing cards, alcohol became a big part of my life. COVID hit and lost my job with the newborn baby. My boredom came filled with crack after almost 7 years abstinence. This relapse would last 5 epic years of all sorts of drugs. Losing it all once again after the poker club reopened, I became severely depressed and doubled down on drugs. My mom helped me get an apartment, but little did I know it would change my life in ways you can't imagine, literally. After the second week, weird things were happening in the new apartment. From constantly feeling observed to seeing light beams flicker to smelling strange odors and hearing through walls, or so I thought. One night, out of nowhere, I noticed 5 balls of light materialize into my room and hover over my 5 hanging hoodies. A conversation took place that was telepathically a lightning bolt of information all at once. I had to physically speak to understand the intelligent dialect. They asked me to clean my act up and to do something with my life that would influence mine and others. In doing so, my potential could be reached if I started to physically work out, to stop mind altering substance, including coffee, and to read the Bible. I agreed, and the dark side appeared with their corrupt values and morals ways. They had an agenda of their own. 28 days later, I had stopped it all, even methadone after 10 years on it. The next contact happened, and during this time, conscious observers were making their presence known via telepathic uploads, speaking audibly, or physical emotion and intuition, becoming a conduit for all different supernatural beings such as bodies of energy and shadows lurking around, light beams, and otherworldly portals appearing right in front of my eyes. All of a sudden, the air became crisp, cold, and this high-strung energy engulfed my body. It had an ancient and familiarity to it. My inner voice knew this unspoken voice. My celestial ancestors were present as well as lost souls and spirits from the other side. I was spoken to with respect and was asked to listen to my spirit guides, to take their exercise and quest seriously as I wanted to be taken. I was asked to generate a paradise on a video game's internal AI generator of a simulation of life. Divine tech was in play, and to always seek the light. No matter how dark it gets, you are the light. To always think of the water, the trees, and the air. For the next few weeks, I had learned to meditate and alter my consciousness and detach my energy body from my physical self. I learned about the first family and the genesis of thought and creation of life itself. My third eye opened, and the tunnel bridges linked the physical plane to the constellation. My silver cord always brought me back. I was taught specific movement as handshake to match other worldly beings in said tunnels. My frequency became a universal key that opened lost connection to astral realms and old dreams we wake up too soon. All these different dimensions and multiverse became my playground, and my spirit guides became more involved by placing me in these colorful light palaces that were designed to pass into worlds that were long lost. Following the all-seeing eye from palace to palace, I started to notice a reflection in front of the sun, seeing the RGB triangle swivel so each point touched the peaks of the gold one behind. It was explained that it is the God's descendant who consciously observes humankind. It was the most ancient technology there is. It contains every memory of everything that is conscious. After reaching nirvana and mind blown by said exchange over multiple weeks, the dark set crept in and asked themselves to time with me. After my spiritual awakening from the Bible, hi, my name is Abel. I do not drink, I do not do drugs, and I do not smoke cigarettes. The dark side took immense interest on my path of enlightenment. This journey could not have been possible without their unseen forces at work as well as their hardship lesson. From being convinced to commit suicide, losing faith, and hope for myself. I was asked to steal, to go to the airport and yell bomb, to find a way to prison, to create a new world order plan and simulate the working on divine capabilities, to screw over the light, and to relapse on drugs. Battling my demons, angels and demons which I did not believe in, became allies on my quest for enlightenment. What happened to me made me a believer in religious practices and cemented my faith to the supernatural forces, seen and unseen. One faithful morning, after weeks of being blasted and ridiculed by negativity, I was bawling my eyes out due to health concerns, so I thought. My insides were wrecked from drug use and had blood in my stool. Out of nowhere, I hear, "Don't worry, my child," and felt a cushion of air enter my inside, repairing them so till this day I never had blood again. The next day, I am gifted a lifelong bond with Mother Earth and all its creatures. Mastering alchemy and hereditary seals, I was forging bonds to all the elements and became an energy wizard. Learning bow staff with my eyes closed, my shadow was showing me hand placement to twirl the stick, poses in yoga, and breathing frequencies in Tai Chi. Clouds appeared in all forms and I would think, including letters, numbers, and animals like shape. Past memories would play one cloud at a time. Weird depths shading and random harsh winds would blow on me from above, thinking of an invisible spaceship. One thing after the next, and almost a whole year into it, right before my 33rd birthday, it was surreal to see the transformation I had made. Understanding dualistic realities and shifting one's consciousness into others while maintaining a strong foothold in mine and our reality. I became truly enlightened on all aspects of life and had journaled each magical encounter and lesson. From linking the star map to temporal displacement, psychic abilities, Illuminati of light, life, and love mentality, astral projection, and a direct bond to the underworld, I felt invincible knowing our consciousness lives forever no matter what we believe in. I was meant to share these teachings and gifts, and I asked permission to create a YouTube channel to reach a larger audience. Using and respecting the Illuminati name, one by one, sign and consent was seen and heard. Little did I know it would all start in a mental psych ward. After training all night, my neighbor attacked me and falsified a police report. Brought to jail and snapped at the judge. He ordered a psych eval and failed it miserably. Believing to share everything all at once with no context, practice, or proper delivery, I was held for 28 days. Upon my release, I was over the sequestration of my divine abilities and ignored all follow-up medication, police report, and court. I was found and bound and sentenced to strict detention at the hospital. The mind, body, and soul nourishment was over. Until I used that time to relieve every moment, every word, every exchange of the divine knowledge. The first-hand account of my life of addiction to tapping into a collective consciousness becomes part of a greater force that we could possibly imagine. Hyper-intelligent and truly divine ideas and privy knowledge meant to be given away correctly and freely became my first 180 videos. My mental state and capabilities were disclosed during the vlog portion, and branching into a mental health awareness podcast with patient and their diagnosis as well as addiction. 7-month health captain until my release happened. Another relapse occurred. I gave in and abused anything I could get my hands on. Out for 3 months, I lost my living quarter and forced back for 3 more months at the hospital where I doubled down on drugs. I prayed for the withdrawals to physically stop hurting, and then they were answered the very next day in a form of therapy. 6-month close, and ever since my life has shifted into what I considered my best daily self. I am part of the NA Fellowship and attend a meeting every day, working in the steps in such way that recovery is possible while maintaining sobriety in the process. I have a higher power to be thankful for, and I always seek the light, because God is internal, external, and universal. Thank you for listening, guys. This was Mike for Road to the Illuminati and Friends in High Places podcast.